All right, what's up, YouTube? So I'm gonna shoot a video instead of doing a live stream. Didn't look like there was a lot of people in the live stream, and people can come back and watch a video and watch it at their own time, in their own time, and try to digest it. I'll try to put up ahead of time when I'm gonna do the coffee talks or the lives, so that it warns people. Anybody that has questions about food laws according to the Bible, that's kind of where I was going with this one, as well as the food that you eat and how that it affects you. So, the food laws according to the Bible were given by God mainly to abstain from certain things. Pork, shellfish, we're talking your lobster, shrimp, anything that didn't have scales and fins. So catfish, crab, scallops, mussels, all that stuff that are basically bottom eaters. The reason why religious groups usually abstain from pork and shellfish, if you go back to the reasoning behind it, is not because it's fattier or it has trichinosis or it's high in cholesterol. These are all the arguments that I've heard over the years that most people will give. We can't cook, we can cook it at the right temperatures now, and they couldn't before. Are you kidding me? Do you know what type of ovens they had? They had those brick fire ovens. They could cook at temperatures like 1200 degrees. So it was not about the temperature. It was not about the trichinosis. It was not about the fact that some forms of seafood like shrimp are high in cholesterol. It was because they are scavengers. Biblical food laws really apply to the fact that they are able to send a toxic shock to your system. So you have cadaverine, you have putrescine, all these are hormones, or enzymes rather, not hormones. Enzymes in these creatures that basically send a shock into your system and tear it up. So God said abstain from these certain creatures just for that reason. A lot of people say, well, what's up with, eating, I can eat this or I can eat that, or, biblical food laws were not a part of the 10 Commandments. So let's just put that out there first. Biblical food laws were not a part of the 10 Commandments. The moral code of living was a part of the 10 Commandments. Love God first with all your heart, your mind, and your soul, and love your fellow man as yourself. Now, when it comes to food, God makes clear in 1 Corinthians that it's not the food that you eat that destroys you. It says, food was made for the stomach and the stomach for food, but 1 Corinthians 6, but God will destroy both. And he was more concerned with adultery than he was with what types of foods people ate. Either way, I'm saying don't throw stones, because our bodies are the temple of the Holy Ghost according to God's word. So if we're going to get on that, we really need to be careful. Jesus told the Pharisees, you swallow a camel when it comes to your own sins, but you choke on a gnat, or, get the log out of your eye before you remove the splinter in your brother. So the food laws were given for health purposes. They were not given as moral code. So, basically and he says, don't join yourself with a harlot, don't commit adultery. He says he who commits adultery commits, a sin against his own body, and God will destroy for that. So he's just making a comparison in 1 Corinthians 6 that, your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and you should take care of it. But I don't want to say there's levels, but there are things that God considers morally wrong, while the foods we eat are, sometimes you have to do as, if you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. So it's not a moral issue if you eat pork or if you eat shellfish. That's not a moral issue. I guess that's where I was going with that. Now, let's talk about the health of your gut. More importantly, people are eating really fatty foods. They're eating fast foods, and it is so easy to get inexpensive, healthy food nowadays. You can opt for yellowfin tuna in a can. You can opt for wild-caught salmon. You can opt for tilapia. You can get grass-fed beef. You can get organic beef. I actually found that at Aldi's, the pound of organic, grass-fed organic beef is the same price as the regular ground chuck at Walmart. Same price. So cost really isn't a factor anymore. The factor comes into the highly processed things and B vitamin. That's number one. A lot of people do not realize that they're not getting enough B vitamin. Some people are genetically have a disposition not to be able to absorb folate and need to get a methylated version. I've talked about this a ton, but green leafy asparagus, kale, I know asparagus isn't leafy, but your green leafies, kale, turnips, all that stuff, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, those things are gut friendly and detoxifying. Whereas McDonald's French fries are not. And some of this stuff is so simple. I mean, break it down. A salad, if you have to eat on the go, a salad, high protein, goat's milk yogurt, or Fia or Fia, however you pronounce it. There's just so many good options out there. But when it comes to the gut, a lot of your digestion problems are due to underlying issues like parasites, candida, and SIBO. SIBO being small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. What you have to do is you have to get on a regimen in order for your body to start digesting your food. So hang on. In order to start digesting your food, you have to address whether or not you have candida, which is both a yeast and a mold, depending on which stage it's in, a bacteria, or a parasite. And oftentimes people will find that if they have candida, they do have parasites as well. But these things destroy the gut lining. You're not able to absorb the nutrients of any decent food you eat. You'll find yourself having to overtake vitamins. The overconsumption of vitamins to have energy is a sign of a gut issue. Another sign of a gut issue is cystic acne. Cystic acne is from one, not eating healthy, but two, not being able to absorb nutrients. When you're not eating healthy and you can't absorb nutrients, whatever is going on in the gut is going to come out in the skin. Boils, that's another one. Rashes, that's another one. And these can be also related with food sensitivities, especially eczema, psoriasis. And so the gut has to be addressed. The gut has to be addressed. You have to, one, kill the bacteria, candida, or parasites. And then number two, you have to start to heal the gut lining back. You have to heal that mucosal lining. So that's a step-by-step process. You have to kill, you have to clean out, you have to come back and do another kill because there will be the babies left behind of whatever, the yeast, the mold, the bacteria, the parasites. So you have to go on a regimen of killing, then you have to remove. And so you do that with a cleanse and then, or detoxification cleanse. And then you heal back with basically colostrum. Most of us were not raised as breastfed babies. Those of us who have been raised on formula did not get the first 3 days of colostrum, which are necessary to our immune systems and building our mucosal lining in our gut. So when babies are born and God gives them the first 3 days of colostrum, it is crucial to two things. One, building their immune system, and two, building their mucosal lining in their gut. So a lot of us have been living our entire lives without a decent mucosal lining in our gut to begin with. So you can rebuild that back. And if you have been breastfed, but you've been overusing antibiotics, then you're gonna have to do this anyway. So you want to take a good colostrum. You also want to add to that and back it up with a lot of collagen. That will help to rebuild the mucosal lining in your stomach. But you can't go back to eating the junk, the garbage, the trash, taking the caplets. I don't care if it is an over-the-counter medicine, if it is a vitamin, if you're taking compressed pills often, you're tearing the gut lining up because they are made with binders like nickel and mercury. So you're adding heavy metals to an all-organic system, and they will basically sit in there and start to destroy the gut again. So you have to kind of put yourself on a specific diet. If you're interested in hearing more about what type of diet plan is good for you, you can find me at Missy's Naturals and meet me for a holistic counseling session. And then we can figure out what it is you're going through. I've mentioned this before, there's GI mapping and things like that can actually test to see what's going on in your gut. Here are some things you can do if you're having outward symptoms of an inward problem, such as the boils, cystic acne, or rashes. Try to narrow it down to, is it what you're eating, or are you trying to eat healthy and it may be food sensitivities? If you haven't gone through the process of trying to figure out if it's candida, parasites, or whatever. You can do a quick, like the 15-day detox cleanse to go ahead and flush out whatever may be in there. You can add clove caplets. Clove is a good multi-spectrum antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic, anti-mold. So you can take clove caplets 4 in the morning, 4 at night. You want to take it on something that soothes. I'm a big supporter of almond milk. Almond milk has the good fats, the good proteins, not too much fat, but it's also very hydrating. But it also helps soothe the gut. So almond milk with 4 caplets of clove in the morning, 4 caplets of capsules, the encapsulated clove in the morning and in the evening. Then back that up with a detox. That's going to help you rid any of the junk that maybe have gotten killed off. After that, what you would do is you would start back with a very clean, and it doesn't even have to be like apples, oranges, kale, soft diet. And that would be things like organic beans. It can be organic rices. If you can't afford the organic, just get as clean as you can, non-genetically modified. That's another thing that's tearing up the gut. It's lacerating the stomachs. So you can go back with that. Sorry for the picture being this way. I just realized that I should have turned it sideways to do a video. Anyway, so you can go through your diet and check out, well, what am I eating here? Am I eating a lot of chips? Am I eating a lot of bread? Carbs will tear up your stomach because carbs and sugar feed the candida. They feed the bacteria. They feed all of the junk that's living, these little, not even actual worm parasites, but just the things that are living inside of you that are destroying your gut. All of the genetically modified things lacerate. So getting rid of all things like bread, tortillas, all of that stuff that is made with genetically modified seeds. Soy is something that needs to be gotten rid of on a national level, because soy not only is genetically modified to the hilt, but it's also, and it will cause estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance produces things like man boobs, PCOS. Soy is in almost everything because it is just mass produced, and they break it down from soy isolate, soy protein. They put it in everything, but it should be avoided at all costs. So take a look at what you're eating. And if it's things like junk food, yes, that's going to come. Is it Cokes? Is it, things like that? Yes, that's going to come out in acne, boils, things like that. So what can you eat? Soft and clean. You can eat eggs. I would not add anything extra that would be harmful to the gut, such as your pork, sausage, bacon, any of that. Biscuits, no. It would be better to sit and eat 6 eggs than it would be to add the bacon and the biscuits to it, because the eggs are going to be high in vitamin B. They're going to be soft on the gut. And as long as your egg whites are cooked all the way, then they will also help you to produce biotin. Biotin is one of the things that you need to help stay healthy, have healthy hair and nails, things like that. So that's another thing. Lunch, tuna. You can buy canned tuna. It's not expensive. A lot of people think you need to go all organic. No, you don't. You can buy canned tuna with sea salt and water only, or you can buy yellowfin tuna. You can buy albacore tuna. Yellowfin tuna has olive oil, garlic. Olive oil is super soothing to someone who is trying to heal their gut. It has polyphenols in there, which are antioxidants. I mean, olive oil, you could take a spoonful of olive oil in the morning, a spoonful at night. When you're doing your clove, if you need to cleanse the gut, that's another good idea. But for specifics, for people that are specifically looking to address gut issues, look me up. I am going to go over into my new little giveaway. So what I'm doing on my website is I'm offering 40% off, and it's called Giving Back 40 Off. And 40% off everything. I did a little thing over the weekend for 50% off. I'm changing it. I'm giving off 40% anything. If you wanted to try the super salve, if you've wanted to try frankincense, which is really expensive, if you've wanted to try the hair growth stimulator, if you've wanted to try any of those products, and super salve, if you have not used my super salve, is totally excellent for bug bites this time of year, for burns, for poison ivy. It contains comfrey, which heals the skin. It contains plantain. It kills germs. It's antiseptic. It has clove in there. Lots of essential oils like tea tree to help with fungal, athlete's foot, things like that. So it's an all-around skin salve. 40% off. And if you wanted to take advantage of my holistic counseling, now would be a good time, 40%. The other 10% I'm choosing to give back to a charity. And I'm gonna run this, today is the 29th of April. I'm gonna start probably fresh tomorrow, putting up videos every day, and I'm gonna run this 40% off sale with the 10%, so that means 50% of what I would make is cut out. I'm basically down to no profit, just to give people a chance who've wanted to get back into using my products or to try them, the opportunity to do that, as well as go ahead and give away 10% of everything brought in to a specific charity. And I've decided either to donate it to the domestic violence shelter that I was actually in twice, or the special needs school near me. And I figured I'd run this thing for 10 days and then I would let y'all decide. Hopefully it won't be some chump change. Hopefully it'll be something impressive, and it'll be something that I'll be proud of, and we'll have like a live stream and go, hey, let's vote. Everybody join in. This is how much money was made and I want to donate it. Where would y'all start? Would you donate it here or there? So I have, yeah, that's what I want to do. All right, so thanks for watching. I hope that helps y'all understand food laws, gut issues, and how things that we eat or our gut condition can affect everything else around us in our bodies. Not only does it affect energy levels, it will affect your skin, your hair. Let me give you a good example. Biotin is produced in the gut. So if you don't have enough, your hair won't grow. Skin. Biotin is needed for healthy skin cells. So a healthy gut is crucial to a healthy body. And I hope that helps you understand food laws as well. Y'all have a good evening.